It's like my bread and butter, my cup of tea. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the tension between the two characters. And I'm feeling all of the emotions. Hey everyone, how y'all doing? Welcome and welcome back to my channel. So today, me and my friend Alyssa are going to be doing a 24-hour kind of romance-themed readathon. This just felt like the perfect way to celebrate Valentine's Day, which is when this video should hopefully be going up. But as I'm filming this, it is currently February 9th. It is a Thursday. So the readathon is going to start today at 5 p.m, ending tomorrow on Friday at, again, 5 p.m. 24 hours, duh. So I'm super excited for this. I have a pretty ambitious TBR of 4 different romance books, so we're gonna see how this goes. I'm gonna quickly show you guys each book. I might talk more about what each one's about as I'm reading them, but I thought I'd quickly go through my TBR with you guys before the readathon starts, so that when it does start I can hopefully just like get right into reading, although I actually won't be able to because me and my mom are going to Costco, and we'll be in Costco when the readathon starts, unfortunately, and then we're gonna be coming home, probably eating dinner. So I'm unfortunately going to be having a bit of a late start to the readathon, but I'm still excited about it anyways. So 24 hours is not a lot of time to read a lot of books, especially since I will be sleeping. I'm not sacrificing my sleep for this, and again tomorrow I'm not going to be here for the end of the readathon because I'm going to the States. So unfortunately this was not planned when we planned this readathon, so we're just gonna have to roll with the punches a little bit, but I'm gonna try to get through as many of these as possible. So the book I'm gonna be starting out with, which I have just been in such a mood for recently, like I've just felt a huge draw towards this book, but I've been waiting for this readathon to read it, and that is the Roughest draft by Emily Wibberley and Austin Siegman Broca. This was their adult debut book. They have numerous YA books. I've only read one of them, but I adored it. It's Always Never Yours. I'm just obsessed with that book, so I've been really anticipating reading their romance book that came out last year. I believe they have 2 more coming out this year, so they're just killing it. But they are a husband and wife writing duo, and I'm obsessed with them. So this one I'm so excited to get into. It's not very long. None of these books are particularly long, which is why I chose them. So I think it's gonna go relatively well. I'm hoping to read all of them. Maybe most of them, I don't know, but this one I'm really excited about. I've heard good things. I'm obsessed with the authors, so hopefully it'll be a good time. The next book is The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guillory. I am so excited about this book. I own the first 3 books in this kind of companion series, and I've just been really wanting to read them and just not reading them. You know how the life of a reader is. So I'm really excited about this one. It's fake dating. That's all I'm gonna say for right now, but I'm really excited about this one. Again, a short book, so hopefully it won't take too long for me to read. So the game plan for today is to kind of read all of this and then hopefully start this one and get through as much of it as I can before I go to bed. Me and Alyssa are doing a Reading Sprints live show tomorrow for the book club. We figured this was a good time to do it while we were doing this readathon, but unfortunately for me it's like early in the morning, at least early for me because I always wake up super late. So while I am going to be staying up late to do reading, I'm very nervous about having to wake up early to read, so that shall be interesting tomorrow. But the last like priority book, because I do have one that I'm just gonna throw in on this TBR that I'm going to read if I have time to, but the last priority one that I'm gonna really try to at least start is Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. I love Christina Lauren. Their books are just so good, so much fun. I'm obsessed with each book I've read by them. This has always been one of the ones that I've been the most interested in, so I'm super excited about this one, and I hope that it lives up to my expectations. Christina Lauren has yet to let me down, so I'm looking really forward to this one. And then, like I said, there is one book that I'm adding to the TBR that I'm going to get to if I have the time. If I somehow miraculously get through these 3 books, then I will pick this one up, and it is Lessons in Love by Jodie Holford. So Jodie Holford is also Sophie Sullivan. She writes the Jensen Brothers series, 10 Rules for Faking It. I'm obsessed with them, but this is her like self-published, I believe, like little series. The first book was A Convenient Christmas, and this is the second one. It's an Isn't It Sweet romance is what the cover says. So this one very, very short. Obviously, it's not even 200 pages. I think it's like 168 or something like that. Oh, 160. It's 160 pages. So I'm throwing this one on the TBR because I do really want to read it, and this seems like a perfect time to just kind of throw it in and hopefully read in a very quick sitting. So hopefully I'll also be able to get to this one, but I'm not going to prioritize it because this is already a pretty big TBR for 24 hours. So hopefully this goes well. I'm very excited to kind of get into the romance mood. I've been reading some fantasies recently, so I'm ready to get back into like the full-on romance books. So I hope you guys are excited for this vlog. So let's just get right on into it. Okay, so it's now 8:23. I went out with my mom to Costco, and then we came home and, like I predicted, had dinner right away, and then we ended up going to Walmart for a little bit, which I'll talk about in a second. So it's 8:24. And I've only started reading right now. I am a chapter into the Roughest draft, and so far I'm really enjoying it. Like, literally have only read 8 pages. It was a short chapter, but I'm really enjoying it. I knew going into this that I would love this kind of book. So basically it's about these best-selling co-authors, and 3 years ago they ended up splitting ways. They don't write books together anymore, and our female main character Katrina no longer writes at all, and they're basically contracted, I think, to write another book or something along those lines, and so they have to get together and write a book again. And so far in this first chapter, it was just a scene of Katrina going to this bookstore because she wanted to find a book to read, and her therapist recommended that she expose herself to things that she's now uncomfortable with, like going into a bookstore because she might be recognized and she doesn't want to deal with the awkward questions and all of that. And we got so many descriptions of books and bookstores, and I feel like I don't know how they wrote this book. Like, I don't know if Emily wrote the Katrina chapters and Austin wrote the Nathan chapters. I don't really know, but I feel like whoever wrote the Katrina chapter, whether it's both of them or one of them, they really captured the essence of a bookstore and like what it feels like in the atmosphere of it, and I really enjoyed that. And also just the way that like Katrina's inner monologue is, you can tell that she is a writer because she makes references to books a lot, and like she was like having a conversation with the bookseller. She said something along the lines of, I don't even know how to come up with a first draft of this conversation or something like that. Like, just like little nods to the fact that she's a writer. I don't know, I really like things like that. I love books that are about authors, about readers. It's like my bread and butter, my cup of tea. So I'm really excited to continue. We are about to get a Nathan chapter. I didn't fully realize that this book was a dual POV novel, but I'm so here for it. I find that I really love dual POV novels, especially in the adult romance space, so I am super excited to continue. I need to read this quickly because, like I said earlier, I would like to get into the wedding date a little bit today as well. So I gotta finish this, and I gotta finish it fast. So I'm gonna get back to reading now because so far we are off to not a great start to this readathon in terms of how many pages I've read. So I'm gonna get back to it. Oh no, wait. Who am I? I said I was going to talk about Walmart. Okay, so my mom wanted to go to Walmart because she had to pick something up, and I decided to look. Oh my god, it almost fell. I decided to look at the book section because Chain of Thorns came out a couple weeks ago, as you guys were seeing this, and I pre-ordered a copy from Indigo. It's beautiful. Saw that the dust jacket had a reverse dust jacket, like it was reversible, and there was another cover on the inside, and it was really stunning, but obviously it does not match the other 2 books in the series, and it was stunning, and it had James on it, and I felt compelled to buy another copy. They had it for 30% off. I could not help myself, so I bought it. I haven't even read this book yet. I'm planning on reading it after this readathon, but I have not read it yet, and now I own 2 copies because I'm insane. What can I say? I needed to have it. I felt compelled, and I'm probably not gonna find it for a better price than 30% off. So I bit the bullet and I did it. Anyways, now that I've told you that, I can get back to reading the Roughest draft. Okay, I am now 50 pages into this book, and like I said before, I'm really enjoying it. We've just gotten like our first real interaction between the main characters, and I'm excited to see what's coming. I think the vibes of this book are going to be great. When I first read the description for this book, I think I misinterpreted what was going on, because I think that I thought that the main characters were like a divorced couple who were co-writers with each other. I guess I was thinking that like Emily and Austin are married in real life, so I thought maybe they were just writing a book about like a divorced couple coming back together or something. That's not what this is. One of the characters is divorced, but not from the other one. So I'm not disappointed by that, but I think reading a book like that would be super interesting. But something did go down between these two characters. We just don't know what it is yet. I'm sure there could be like assumptions made. I've got some things percolating in my brain for what could be going on, but they haven't said anything on the page beyond like little nuggets of information. And they are at a writing retreat right now to fill out this contract and write another book. They're doing it in the same house that they wrote their previous novel where this falling out occurred, and so they're like bringing up old memories for them. And so I'm very curious to see what's going on, what happened during that writing retreat before when they wrote the book, and why they had a falling out. But already through this like one interaction that literally lasted like 2 pages, barely any dialogue, I'm so here for it. I'm so excited to continue this. It is now 9:32, so we're not doing too hot time-wise, page count-wise. So again, I'm gonna sit my butt down. I've been eating chocolate raisins. I only have a few left. And I have hot chocolate that I'm just waiting to cool down. We're getting cozy, comfy, because I'm settling in for a long time to finish this book. So. Now 11:23. Sorry for the glare of my viewfinder. I am now just over halfway through the roughest draft. I'm on page 173, so I have no doubt that I will be able to finish this book tonight. I'm really enjoying it. The question is, when I do finish it, will I want to jump in to the wedding date? It's not looking very likely, just because I am noticing my eyes hurting a little bit, so I don't know if I'm gonna want to stay up after reading this book and force myself to read more. So we're just gonna see how I'm feeling. I also know, like I mentioned in the intro to this vlog, that I have a live show tomorrow with Alyssa for reading sprints that I honestly keep forgetting about like throughout the entire day. I just like keep randomly remembering that I have that tomorrow. So while I do want to stay up late, I also know I have to wake up early when I am no longer used to waking up early. I already know that I'm going to have to like eat my breakfast while doing the live show, like during a sprint or something. So that's gonna be interesting. So I don't want to stay up too late, even though I know I'm probably going to, because that's just what I'm used to now. It's what my schedule is. So this is going to be interesting, but I know that I'm going to be able to finish this book. It's just I don't know if I'm going to want to start this book today, but I'm anticipating that I will probably only get through these 2 books. I just don't see myself being able to finish this one. There's the potential of me starting it, but I don't know. So it kind of has me wondering, like, would I rather jump into this one first, because I kind of want to read this one more right now than the wedding date. I don't really know. Maybe when the time comes to it, I will like read the first line and see which one intrigues me more, or read the first page. I don't know. But as for the roughest draft, I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, since we are like over the halfway mark, things have been happening. Tension has been rising. We've gotten a hint into something that happened in the past 4 years prior when they wrote their last book. I don't know if I mentioned this, but they do have like flashback type scenes in here showing them when they were writing the book the first time. So I'm assuming we're going to be able to actually see the fallout that they had in one of those flashback chapters, which I'm highly looking forward to, I must admit. But we did get a little glimpse into what happened with another character in this book that's kind of directly related to our main characters, and they're like fallout with each other and their like relationship with each other. It was like another writing friend that they both share. And is this falling? I can't tell. I have you guys propped up on my bed on like a laptop like thing they put on your lap so you can like work on it in bed. So I'm sorry if like this is falling or like whatever. But they have another writing friend, and our main character Katrina had a falling out with this friend as well as Nathan, like around the same time. We did find out a little while back what happened with that, and I did guess like right before it happened what the thing was. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the tension between the two characters, and I'm really loving seeing them writing this book together, co-writing this book. I, like I said earlier as well, love reading books about writers, and I especially love when it actually delves deep into the writing process. And it's very interesting to read a book about co-writers and seeing an insight into a co-writing process from writers who are co-writers themselves. So because this book is co-written and it's about co-writers, it's like really cool, because it's like I wonder if this is what their experience co-writing is like. I think they might have talked about it before in an interview, in an Instagram live, on Twitter, something, but I don't remember. So maybe I should look that up to figure out how they decide to co-write their books. It's just kind of interesting to be like, that is possibly how they co-write their books, and it does enter a lot of opportunities for fun, tension-filled moments, and it's a lot of fun. Obviously, I can't help but think of Beach Read when I read this book, because it's not necessarily similar like at all in terms of like the actual plot of the book, but just like in this book, the characters in Beach Read are writers, and they're both trying to write their own books in that one, and we do get an insight into both of their different writing processes, and I really enjoyed that about that book. It's something that I can connect to because I'm a writer myself, and so I love reading books, seeing different writers' processes and how like the characters like navigate things and work through things. It's just something that I do really enjoy, so I'm just really enjoying reading through this and seeing how they're writing books. I think this is leaning. I have no idea. Am I going insane? I don't know. But I'm enjoying seeing an insight into their writing process together. Kind of like both sides of it. Like we do get to see their writing process in current day when they haven't spoken in 4 years. They haven't written together in 4 years. And their relationship is not currently as good as it was the last time they wrote together. There's more tension there. There's unanswered questions, things that they're not talking about. So just kind of things hanging in the air between them as they're trying to write this novel, and honestly writing parts of themselves into this novel that they're writing, which kind of is very interesting. But we also get to see from the 4 years past, like the 4 years before parts, how they wrote together back then and their connection that way. And I'm just really enjoying seeing how they used to work together, how they're currently working together, and kind of how whatever happened between them, which we still don't have like full confirmation of yet, how that influence how they're now working together, and navigating that, and how maybe how they used to write together maybe led to them having their falling out. I don't know, I guess we'll find out. But I'm also really enjoying how this book itself kind of mirrors what's happening inside of it, if you know what I mean. Our main characters are writing a book that has 2 characters who are, I don't really know what they're doing. Oh, they're getting a divorce, I think they're getting a divorce, and it's told kind of similarly to this book where it's present day, but it also has scenes from when they were in love before in their relationship, to kind of show their connection and why they loved each other and how they used to love each other before we get to see them having a divorce. So it's interesting because obviously the authors of this book decided to be very meta with that and have the same thing going on in this book, where they do have the past flashback scenes, so we get to see their connection and their friendship and their like co-writing business partnership, and then we also now get to see how it's fallen apart and how they are maybe trying to repair that. So it's just very interesting. I love when books can be kind of meta like this, where it's like a book within a book, or just, I don't know. I love things like this, and I've been talking for a very long time, but I'm just really enjoying this. I'm also just enjoying the writing style itself. I mentioned it kind of a little bit earlier about how like you can just tell that these characters are writers in the way that they are describing the things around them. Emily and Austin really like took their characters to heart and how their characters would talk and interact with the world through like a writer's lens, which I feel like is easy to do since they're writers themselves. Like I'm sure I put the same influences into my books in situations like that, but it's like because they are writers in the book, they experience the world in a different way. Like they view things differently, they focus on different things, and I'm just really enjoying that. I'm really enjoying just how this book is written. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I don't think I have any complaints so far. I'm just having the absolute best time with this. I love like all the little moments that have me smiling, and like I love when I'm reading a book and I start to like hide parts of the page so that I don't like spoil myself, and I've been doing that quite a bit just to like make sure my eyes don't jump ahead when I don't want them to. It's just been a really fun time. So anyways, I'm gonna continue reading because like I said, I need to finish this book, and it's 11:33, so I'm gonna try finishing this book. I'm gonna aim to have it done before 1 in the morning. Maybe I can finish it before then, I don't know, but I'm gonna aim for 1 in the morning. I guess we'll see how that goes, but I'm really enjoying myself, and I think this was the perfect book to start this readathon off with because it's such an easy, light read. Well, it's not light, it's light, but like there's obviously like that underlying tension of like a broken friendship and like all of that. I don't know, I'm really enjoying it, so I'm gonna get back to reading. So cute. Okay, I'm on page 235 now, and a really good scene just happened. And again, like I was just talking about in the last talking clip, like the way that they are using like writerly terms and phrases and words to like describe things that they're feeling or thinking, it's so smart and it's so beautifully done. Like there was just a line that was just so good, and I don't know if I can read it without like spoiling what just happened. Okay, I'm just gonna read the second half of it. I'm not gonna read what leads into this line, just the line that I want to say. Okay. Every single word we've ever written, prologue to this. I also did not read the last word. But like, using prologue in that sentence, absolutely genius. Absolutely genius. I am obsessed, and I do mean obsessed, with their writing style in this book and just in general, but particularly right now in this book. And there's something so inspiring about their books for me for some reason. Like their book Always Never Yours, which is the only other book of theirs that I've read so far, that one helped me write The Show Must Go On, which is my musical theater book. That's a book that I purchased solely to use as like research to write theater, since I was never like a theater kid growing up. And this book, while the plot itself is not inspiring my current book What You Mean to Me, it is, however, like just inspiring the actual craft of writing, which I am just so happy about because I feel like I'm trying to like revise that book right now and it's very difficult. And like also there's a lot of talk in this book, and I was gonna wait until like my final thoughts clip to talk about this just because I wanted to read so badly and I didn't want to stop, but then I had to stop after that scene that I just read, so I might as well talk about it. So all throughout this book they've kind of talked about how like particularly Nathan has talked about writing is the only thing he's ever done. Like it's the only place where he's ever felt himself, and I think they both talked about this, where like they are not themselves if they are not writing. Like they are writers to their core. Like whenever Nathan is sad or he's going through something, or he's happy, just like anything, he needs to write. Like through his hardest moments he turned to writing. He's nothing without his writing, and that's how I feel. Like I love when I can relate to books, and I can heavily relate to this one because of the writing factor to it. I've been a writer since I was like 5 years old, 6 years old. That's always kind of been my identity. Books and writing has been my identity. I love that about me. Like everybody knows that I'm a writer, that I love books, like even people who don't know me that well. So I feel like this connection with these characters on that front of being like, I'm a writer, that's what I've always been. And like, even if I could never get published, or even if, you know, my dream of that couldn't come true, I would still write because I need to write. Like they said, I do not feel like myself when I am not writing. You know, like even when I'm not actively like writing, I'm still thinking about writing, I'm still thinking about my stories. And even when it's really, really hard, because writing does tend to be very difficult for me, and like drafting, like there's a lot of parts about writing that I hate, it's still like there's nothing I would rather be doing with my time, and there's nothing I would rather be pursuing in my life. So I'm just really connecting with this novel right now, and I'm obsessed with it, and I'm so invested in the romance in this book, and I'm loving the writing. Like I've said, I'm really enjoying myself. But I'm almost done. My bookmark fell into the book, but I'm almost done, and it is currently 12:38. So I potentially can finish this roughly around 1 o'clock. Maybe, like give or take a few minutes, I think. So I'm gonna get back to it. I had to discuss with you guys the feelings that I'm currently feeling. So I'm gonna get back to reading because I'm so intrigued to see how this book wraps up. But I'm loving everything that is currently happening. I finished the roughest draft, and I'm feeling all of the emotions. My goodness, that last page had me slowly sobbing. It was beautiful. I feel like while I was reading, I was like compiling things in my head that I wanted to say, and now my mind is just like completely blank because I loved this book so much. Like the title drop at the end was so good. It was so freaking good. The roughest draft, absolutely perfection. It's now one of my favorite titles. I just decided that right now on the spot. I'm obsessed with it. I love this book so much for all of the reasons that I've already mentioned in this vlog, but also like for what I've read since I've last updated you guys. Like I just feel like the way that these characters were crafted were just so perfect, and just like the way they bounced off of each other, and like how their issues kind of like, you know, what am I saying? I don't know, but like the issues that each of them had were preventing them from pursuing something with each other, and I just love the way that it was done. And I feel like in most situations I would have felt like the conflict in this book maybe wasn't strong enough or compelling enough, but I really liked it in this book actually. Like I was kind of nervous as it was happening, but then I sat and thought about it for a second. I was like, no, this is actually perfect for this book, perfect for these characters, and I love the way that it unraveled. And the epilogue, excuse me, that epilogue was everything to me. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I loved the characters, the romance. I loved all of the mentions of writing and actually seeing the process of them writing their book together and seeing how it ended up. I loved how the characters developed throughout the book and changed and learned and grew. I loved seeing the flashbacks so we could see what their dynamic was then and what it is now, and kind of what's happened in between. The conflict that happened between them that caused them to stop talking was really painful. I think I was expecting something a little bit more like in your face, like screaming, crying, like a big confrontation, and that's just not what it was. But I actually really liked, not like it was subtle, but I liked the way that it was done in a different way than what I was thinking it was, like a more subtler way than what I was thinking, a more quiet way than what I was thinking. Not that like the scene itself is quiet at all, like it packs in a punch for sure. It's just very different. It contrasts what I was thinking it was going to be. But I'm obsessed. This was so good. I'm so glad that I started the readathon off with this book. I'm obsessed. It's currently 1:40. You can't really see that, but that took me longer to read than I thought it was going to. But I'm obsessed with it. Like, it was so good. Romances feed my soul. Like I'm so happy right now. But now the decision is, which book am I going to start next, and will I start it right now, or will I give myself a break and just start it tomorrow? I know I need to wake up early tomorrow. That's the thing. So I do think I'm gonna quickly pick which book I want to read next. I might watch like a YouTube video really quick, or scroll through Twitter, just do something a little bit more mindless than reading, just to kind of, you know, break it up a little bit, since I've just been literally staring at this for the last however many hours. So I'm gonna pick which one of these I want to read. What's calling me? I don't know. Let me read the first sentences of each one and then I'll let you guys know in a second. Okay, I've read basically like the first page and a bit of each of these books, and I still don't know which one I want to read. Like, on one hand, this one is fake dating at a wedding, which is one of my favorite things ever. But this one is like friends to lovers, and it's where like they're just totally like unaware of their feelings or pretending they don't know that they have feelings, but obviously doing things that put them in each other's like stratosphere in like a more romantic setting, I suppose. Like the tagline at the top on the back here, it says just friends, just friends, just friends. If they repeat it enough, maybe it'll be true. So I feel like both of these have potential to be really amazing, obviously. It's just, what am I in the mood for? Fake dating or friends to lovers? I mean, fake dating is like my favorite trope. So maybe I should go with my original plan and just read The Wedding Date. It is shorter, I think. Maybe they're the same size. I don't know. Either way, I'm gonna read both of these this month, so it doesn't really matter. So I think I'm gonna read The Wedding Date, actually. I really want to read this book. It was also on my 2022 TBR, so I've been wanting to read it for a long time. So I think I'm going to get into this one. Oh god, I'm excited. I really hope that I love it. There is yet to be a fake dating book that I've read that I don't absolutely adore. So I'm gonna probably watch a YouTube video or something, give myself a little bit of a break, and then jump immediately into The Wedding Date. I don't know how much of this I will read tonight because obviously, like I said, I do need to wake up early tomorrow for the Reading Sprints live show. So I might just try to read until maybe like 2:30, 2:45, probably pushing it, but I'm gonna try to aim for around there. Hopefully I don't get just so sucked into this book that I'm not gonna want to put it down, because that's gonna cause issues. And then I guess I'm just going to read this as quickly as I can tomorrow. I don't know how long we are going to be live for. I'm hoping for a while, but regardless, I think I'm hoping to finish this. Okay, I'm trying to plan out tomorrow in my head, and I think this might be the only book that I'm gonna be able to read. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get to either of these books just because I'm gonna be like on my way to the States as the readathon is ending. I'm gonna do my best, you know, I'm gonna do my best. But you know, if I get 2 books done during this time, that is plenty, and I'll still be super happy with that, especially since this one was such a success. I'm obsessed with it. So I will update you guys maybe later when I start The Wedding Date, or maybe I'll just see you guys tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so I've gone up to page 46 of The Wedding Date. It is almost 3 in the morning, so I'm gonna go to bed. My goal was kind of to get to page 50, but then I just decided to stop at the end of this chapter. So my thoughts on this book, I don't have that many because we're not that far into the story, but so far I'm not like completely sold on it. I'm enjoying it more now than I was at the very beginning. Some of the dialogue just felt like a little cringy to me, and I don't even really know why, and I was just having kind of a hard time getting into it. But I'm hoping that it's going to be similar to my reading experience with The Hating Game by Sally Thorne and Get a Life Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert, where I was not obsessed with the writing style or the story at the very beginning, but then I got so completely sucked into the book that I didn't even like notice the writing style or anything, or I like started to like it. So I'm hoping the same thing happens with this book, because like I said, I love fake dating and I want to love this book. I just think it's going a little bit too quickly for my liking. I think I wish there was a bit more build up. I understand the desire to jump right into the story, get right into things, but I feel like there just wasn't enough build up there at the beginning to like really get into it. Like the 2 characters meet in the very first chapter and they just kind of like immediately hit it off with like banter and everything when they're like stuck in this elevator, and I'm like, in my mind I just feel like there should have been like more hesitancy there or more fear from being stuck in the elevator. I don't know. Like, they already finished the rehearsal dinner, and I don't know if this book is gonna like go past the wedding or if the wedding is going to be the rest of this book, because I think in my brain there's a movie called The Wedding Date that has no relation to this book at all because this just came out in 2018 and this movie was like 90s 2000s, probably 2000s, but in that movie like there's more build up to it. Like we get to see the main character like traveling to the wedding destination, meeting with an escort that she hired to fake date her, and then there's like just like a lot more build up to the actual wedding event. So I don't know, I just think things are going a little bit quickly and I'm hoping that the wedding takes up most of the plot. Oh, okay. No, the wedding is not going to be most of this book. So it looks like they like split ways, but they can't stop thinking about the other person. So I think this might not be exactly what I was wanting from it, because it looks like they're like gonna start doing a long distance thing, or they're gonna like try to go towards a long distance relationship. So I'm a little bit nervous because I obviously did not read too closely at the end of the synopsis there, and I was expecting this book to like be all about the wedding. So maybe now that I've like read the description and I understand what the book is, maybe that will temper my expectations a little bit about what this book is actually about. So I don't know, but now I'm like kind of less excited. I don't know, I really wanted the wedding to be like the whole book. I don't know. I will keep you guys updated tomorrow as I read, but I'm gonna go to bed because I'm tired, and like I've said a million times, I have to wake up early tomorrow for the Reading Sprint live show. So I will check back in with you guys then. Readathon is now long over. It's 9:35 p.m. It ended at 5, but like I mentioned, I was going to the States as the readathon was ending, so I couldn't read at the end, and I also like just finished talking to Alyssa after our Reading Sprints live show before I went to the States, so haven't had time to update you all yet. But I made good progress in The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guillory. I am now on page 184. I had like a page and a half left in the chapter, but we like finished a sprint and then we ended up ending the live show, so I didn't get a chance to finish the chapter. But I would say that I'm enjoying this book more now than maybe I was last night. The fake dating, definitely not as prevalent as I wanted it to be going into this book. Obviously, I think I mentioned this yesterday, obviously my expectations were for it to be more of a fake dating story the entire way through, or most of the way through, where they were at the wedding, but the wedding and the fake dating was over before the 100-page mark, which was a little disappointing. But I am enjoying it for what it is now. Like, I'm trying to push the fake dating expectations that I had out of my mind so I can just enjoy the story for what it is, because I do really want to love this book and this like companion series. Not like I think how I feel about this book is necessarily going to affect how I enjoy the other ones. I just need to make sure I properly read the description so I know what I'm getting myself into. But this book is definitely more about them actually like working through a kind of relationship with each other. They haven't actually like labeled their relationship as anything yet, but it's definitely them trying to work out like a long distance type of relationship and figuring out like their feelings for each other and what they want from each other. And yeah, I am enjoying their chemistry and their romance. So that means for the readathon, I only managed to read just over 1.5 books. I calculated how many pages I read. I read 497 pages total. I definitely could have done better if I could have started earlier yesterday. Like if I could have started reading right at 5 instead of starting at like 8 or 9 whenever I started reading yesterday. I definitely could have gotten a lot more read. It's okay, I'm not that mad. I'm just glad that I got some reading done and was like in the romancy type of mood. So what I'm gonna do is, since I am not yet done The Wedding Date, I'm just gonna finish it tonight, and I will finish out this vlog when I finish the book, and then I'm just gonna carry on with the other 2 books that were on my TBR at a later point this month, since I do desperately want to get into Chain of Thorns. I am going to get back into reading The Wedding Date now, finish it up. It's a pretty quick read. I'm reading about a page every 30 seconds, so I should be able to finish it relatively quickly, and I will update you guys as I go along if I have anything to say. I've now finished The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guillory, and I actually did really enjoy this book. I just wish I didn't go into it thinking that it was going to be like a full-on fake dating story, because that is definitely not what I got. But regardless, I still really enjoyed the story. I liked the characters, I liked the relationship that they ended up forming with each other. It's not my favorite romance book, but I do appreciate the story for what it ended up being. I think my only wishes is that the fake dating and like the whole wedding plot of the book actually did last a little bit longer. This book did have my heart fluttering, it did have me feeling things, so it did its job as a romance novel. But anyways, this readathon is long over, which means it's time to finally end this vlog. So like I mentioned during the readathon, I did read this book and half of this book, but for this vlog I've read both of these books. This one is definitely my favorite of the two. I am obsessed with it. I've been thinking about it all day long. So I'm really happy with the reading that I managed to do in this vlog, and I enjoyed both of the books, which is always a plus. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. Comment down below and let me know if you've read any romance books recently and what you thought of them, or since it's Valentine's Day, tell me what your favorite romance book of all time is. Subscribe if you have not yet already, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!